The O'Reilly Factor's on tonight.
We have to finally, once and for all, fix our immigration system. We can't wait any longer for a path to full and equal citizenship.
A Factor investigation, what the left really wants to do about illegal immigration. This might shock you.
How about we do this with CNN? I won't do the debate unless they pay me $5 million.
Donald Trump threatening to pull out of the CNN debate 2 weeks from tonight. He says he wants the money to be donated to vets. We will have a special report. Also ahead, what is the truth about American Muslims cheering after the 9/11 attack? Our True Serum correspondents on the case.
Caution. You are about to enter the no-spin zone. Factor begins right now. Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks for watching us tonight. The left's secret immigration plan. That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo in order to win the presidency in 2016. Both the Republican and the Democratic candidate will have to get a good amount of votes from Hispanic Americans. On Thanksgiving, the New York Times ran an editorial that pretty much laid out what the liberal viewpoint is on people coming to live in America. Point number one. The left no longer distinguishes between illegal aliens and those who come here legally. All foreign nationals who enter are now described by the Times and others as immigrants. And if you use the term illegal alien, you're a bigot. Point two. The left believes that any fence on the southern border is nativist bigotry. That is a hateful action towards non-Americans, especially Hispanics. Point number three. The left wants open borders, no restrictions on those who come here, no detention, no physical barrier, no deportation proceedings unless a serious crime other than illegal entry is committed. And if you disagree with that, you are promoting an anti-immigrant police state. Point four. The left says all immigrants, again, illegal and legal, should be welcomed and assimilated. And not only that, the government should give them money to settle in. And they should immediately be eligible for all the entitlements Americans can secure. Point five. All illegal aliens already here should be put on a pathway to citizenship. The left wants full amnesty. And finally, point number six, the left wants free lawyers for all immigrants so they can gather up the entitlements and citizenship requirements. At the end of the editorial in the New York Times, the paper asks, is that so radical? The answer, of course, is yes. Open borders, full amnesty, complete entitlement access is indeed radical and dangerous to public order and safety. But that is the vision of the Democratic Party. Not everyone, but you will not hear many Democrats go up against that, as the Cates Law debate demonstrated. Now, many believe this is a pure political strategy, that flooding the nation with foreigners, many of whom will get the right to vote, strengthens the Democratic Party. But there's much more in play. The radical left immigration vision would profoundly change all of America's traditions, all of them. And that's what the left wants, because that ideology sees the American Judeo-Christian tradition as oppressive, exploitative, and a white privilege legacy. Thus, the uber left wants traditional America wiped off the face of the earth. That's what's truly going on. And if Americans don't wise up quickly, the left-wing vision of immigration may very well become a reality. And that's a memo. Now for the top story reaction. Joining us from Washington, two Democrats, Simon Rosenberg and Janice Fuentes. So, Janice, am I making any mistakes in my analysis? Be specific, please.
That is a very extreme right-wing analysis.
Okay, I'm taking it right from the paper. These are the words they wrote. I didn't change any of the words. I just put them on the screen.
Okay, let's just look at history, and because you chose the word.
No, I don't want to look at history, Janice.
Okay,
I want to look at the New York Times. Are you saying
but you
that
used
this
the
is
word
not
amnesty.
true? What?
Let's start with amnesty, because there's so many points. I don't have, you want me looking down so I can look at the points. But let's look at amnesty. You mentioned the word amnesty. The last time we had Amnesty was under Ronald Reagan,
Yeah.
Republican president, a great president, Republican president, right? Amnesty back in the day, back there was you paid, you got your name down, and you got your green card. This is what we're talking about. Please, let's be clear. This is not amnesty.
What was attached to the Reagan amnesty, Janice?
Very little. There was no background.
There was a promise
there
that
was no
this would be the last
fingerprinting.
one.
There was no fine. You didn't have to pay a fine.
What was attached to the amnesty under President Reagan was this will be the last time we do it. We'll secure the border. We're not going to have any more of this. And the government obviously let us down. Now, Mr.
True,
Rosenberg,
and we
do
did
you
not
see
secure it. Yeah.
that I distorted this editorial? As Janice seems to think that I distorted it.
You did. I didn't say you distorted.
I didn't distort anything. Here it is, right
You
here.
were presenting it in the right-wing approach.
Let
That's
Mr.
what I'm saying.
It's not a right-wing anything. It's an analysis of what's on the paper. Mr. Rosenberg.
Bill, first of all, what's important to realize is the New York Times has been very critical of the Obama administration for its enforcement agenda.
Yeah,
and so
they think they're too tough.
They're too tough.
Right.
So first of all, I don't think that the sitting Democratic president is not actually done the things the New York Times has said that Democrats should be doing. And if you just take the border, right, just take this one piece of it. I mean, we don't believe in open borders. This administration hasn't created open borders. In fact, we've deported more people out of the United States than any president in American history.
That's because
Crime is
more
down
people
on the
came
US.
across
Right.
than any more time in American history.
No,
and they
no,
were
no,
sent
no, that's
back.
not true.
And those
Bill,
deportations, when they were sent back, count on the sheet.
Bill, you and I have talked about this before on your show, is that's not true, what you just said.
Yes, it is.
Far more people came in during the Clinton and Bush years. Millions and millions and millions of people came in and settled here. Under Obama, the undocumented population has not grown at all. We've gotten that under
That's
control.
because people left because the economy was so bad. You're distorting the border situation.
Bill, the unemployment rate has dropped in half,
All right,
and we
but
haven't
in the
seen any
beginning,
increase
in
in
the first 4 or
undocumented
5
immigrants in the United
years
States. So first of all,
the Obama administration, they went back because there weren't any jobs. But let's look.
No.
This isn't about President Obama. This is about an editorial that says all of the points that I said. This is an extreme view. And I said not every Democratic holds this opinion. And I understand you don't, Mr. Rosenberg. Is that true?
I think the New York Times' opinions on immigration have been wrong again and again and again.
Where
and
are
I think
they
they've
going
made mistakes.
wrong?
And I think the characterization of and their prescriptions and some of the things they wrote in the editorial, I disagree with, and so does this administration. We have a Democrat in the White House, right?
We're looking ahead, Mr. Rosenberg.
I understand, but so and I want to agree something was said earlier about let's just take amnesty, right? What we're, because it was brought up earlier, what we're talking about, what the Democrats have promoted, the current set of Democrats, and what was in the Comprehensive Immigration Reform Bill was not amnesty. It was go to the back of the line, pay a fine, go through a background check,
right here.
learn English. No, it isn't.
This
it
is.
isn't amnesty,
isn't.
Bill.
Sure it is.
It
I'll
isn't.
read you. You
no,
want me to
because
read it
we
to
had
you?
amnesty in 1986. This is not amnesty.
This is what the New York Times, and they base it on Bernie Sanders' proposal.
Right.
Everybody would immediately have all of the rights of Americans, and that's amnesty. Janice, let me ask you this. Do you think that Judeo-Christian tradition in America has been exploitative and has been, as the New York Times believes, a blight on the nation? Do you believe that?
No. We're a diverse nation.
So you don't believe that our traditions should be wiped out?
Why would I believe that?
Because that's what the New York Times believes. They want to flood the zone with look, if you have an open border as they're proposing, you then flood the zone with millions and millions of people. And all of our traditions go up in smoke. There's no regulation under Bernie Sanders' plan at all, and this is what the New York Times has endorsed. None.
Bill, our immigration tradition continues to be the same as it was 20, 30, and 40 years ago.
I don't think you're understanding the forward vision that they're putting forth.
But
I don't
that
think
vision is wrong. Our traditions are not threatened by immigration, and I don't want any of you were thinking that because that would be incorrect.
And
it does not correct who we are.
Janice,
nobody's talking. I am not supportive of open borders where people walk in and we don't know who they are.
This editorial supports open borders. Mr. Rosenberg, I'm giving you the same question to wrap it up. Do you believe that our traditions in America, which would be totally obliterated by an open border, anybody comes here, which is what this is calling for, do you believe that they're wrong, our traditions?
So first of all, many of the immigrants who've come into the United States over the last 50 years are Christian. And so particularly from Latin America, many are Catholic or have other Protestants. And so the Judeo-Christian tradition you're talking about has been reinforced and strengthened by the immigration that we've had in the United States over the last 50 years.
But if you look at the amount of immigrant homes on welfare, which is at 50%, then I'd have to. But I have to go. It's a good debate. It's a good debate.
Thanks, we are not getting rid of the 11 million. We cannot deport them. So let's be realistic at least about that.
So, Bill, have us back. Have us back, Bill. Have us back. Okay.
We need more time.
Next on the rundown, Donald Trump says he will not debate on CNN unless they pay him $5 million. Take a look at that. And later, what is the truth about Muslims praising the 9/11 attack? Our Truth Serum correspondent's on the case up ahead.